All right, everybody, welcome to the lunch break here at FNGO this Wednesday, October 15th, hump day. And it is a good day indeed. Hope you guys are doing well out there. For all you guys will be joining me now, hey, it's going to be a great conversation. If you listen to it at a later date, hey, we love you too. It's still going to be a great conversation. So I see you, Houston Binkley. He's already jumped on the topic today, the AARP tour. We're going to get to that for sure. Coleman said he is fired up with the fall weather. It's getting there, but man, it's almost record highs today. I don't know if you noticed that, but today there is a chance for record highs. And then, of course, we got some rain coming in over the weekend that's going to drop it back down. It is great fishing weather, but it's not so much. It's not that fun to hunt in the afternoons right now. It's hot. So Jeff Brazil, Doc Holly, want to go ahead and get the business out of the way. Of course, Toys for Tots, December 6th out of Laurel Park. Guys, you need to be there. I mean, if you got a boat, come fish with us. $5,000 first place prize guaranteed by the sponsors. $80 buy-in plus one unwrapped toy of a decent amount per angler. It's going to be, listen, it's going to be a super time. If you drive a Phoenix, you win the tournament. You could get some extra Phoenix money, right? But the best part of all of it is you get to hang out with us. And that's the best part of it. You get to come hang out with us on December 6th. You got nothing better to do. So come out and help us help Pickens County and Hall County Toys for Tots. And have a good time. It will be a good time. And that Lake Lanier will be on fire. Absolutely on fire at that time. Also, too, for those of you in the Blue Ridge area, remember the Fishers of Hope tournament for the young man named Matthew, November 1st. Go to Fishers of Hope on Facebook. Go to their Facebook page and you can get all the information. And, go take part in that. Again, I tell you, it makes your heart feel better. Now, Kirk, I'm going to act like I didn't read that. I'm going to act like I didn't read that comment right there. Let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you what I found, though, before we get started. I got to noodling with this StreamYard here. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Look, I have found the applause button. So, hey, guys, I'm Danny Pruitt, your host here at FNGO. There you go, right there. Got the heartbeat going fast. When these guys start talking about their stuff, got the drum rolls with the bongos. And I tell you what, let Tony and them get on that, and they'll play with that thing for sure. But still, I was like, damn, I didn't even know we had that stuff. So it was pretty fun to mess with, and it'd probably get me in a lot of trouble. Can you hit the boo button one time or two as well? I don't know if we got a boo button. Let me see real quick before we get started. Need a laugh track too. I think you can add things. More sounds. Let's see. I got to add them. Oh, a boo large. Okay, here we go. We're going to add the boo. It is added. Let's hear what the boo sounds like. So, hey, guys, did you watch that Uncle Randy video last night? Oh, I like you guys. I'm going to get in so much damn trouble with this. It's going to be fun. Oh, it's on tomorrow, Tony said. He'll be up here tomorrow night. Going to have Robert Blesky in the house. Tucker Smith was going to make an appearance tomorrow night, but he's had to change his schedule. So I think we're going to get Tucker Smith either Tuesday or Thursday of next week. So we're going to have Tucker on. Great kid. Look forward to that conversation. Rob's going to come up and talk with us, and he'll be in-house, which will be a lot better than when he does it, via remote. Or, of course, we'll talk fall bass fishing and everything for sure. But, let me go ahead and read Kirk's comment up there. What I watched, dadgummit, the second I started reading it, it flew up. What I watch is Seniors Tour. I watch FNGL, a bunch of old farts talking fishing. So, yeah, call up the old boys. Well, thanks, Kirk. Heck, I'm 35 and bass fishing. I might qualify. So the reality was about 11 days ago, Randy did put out a video. And this is definitely not knocking Randy. But he talked about the possibility of it. But in his video, he said that he thinks it would be a senior tour would be more popular than the Bassmaster Elites or the MLF or anything that's out there right now. Now, he based that solely upon name recognition of the legends. And then, of course, he went down the forward-facing sonar path. It was okay to watch it till you get to that point. So we're not even going to argue that point. But my question, I got to thinking, and it's a good non-drama question, right? No drama today. It's going to be a drama-free Wednesday, hopefully. because Ken Pruitt keeps fussing at me. He says I'm being a moody thing here lately, and thing was not the word he used. So I'm not going to be moody. We're going to have a good day. But I'm just curious, would you watch a professional senior fishing league? If it came on, and especially if it came on at the same time, say one of the other ones were on, NPFL, MLF, any of the Bassmaster stuff, would you watch it? Yeah, Doug, you are a senior citizen in fishing terms for sure. And what would the age cutoff be? But would you watch it? That's the big thing. Coleman said I would if they could fight. Yeah, it's nothing like watching a bunch of 65-year-olds fight. You've all seen them TikTok videos where two old guys are out in the street and one takes a swing and they both fall down. I mean, it ain't the most fun thing. Well, that gets my attention, the drama that is. Got to sprinkle it in a little bit. We'll sprinkle it in a little bit, but I'm trying to be in a good mood today. Now, Doc says senior team tour must be 150 years combined if you had a team trail. That would be something. But I got to thinking, and you've had a lot of really big names kind of retire in the last few years. First of all, would they come back to fish it, number one? But number two, would you watch it? And I was kind of trying to think about, fishing is a little bit different, and you can fish for a lot longer time than you can, say, play basketball or professional baseball. Like, I think Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player that ever lived. I would not be interested in watching Michael Jordan play right now against Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Maybe a one-off game for sure, but not for an entire season. Sponsored by Metamucil. Metamucil, for sure. I'd watch the old guys because they fish more like how I like to fish. I'd watch Randy if he'd do actual on-the-water fishing videos. I agree with you on that. The man's smart, and he knows how to fish for sure. If you could separate that from the other stuff, but even he says he doesn't get the views. So I get the business decision. But yeah, no, Randy, how old's Randy now? He's up there. I'd be into it, but I'm a casual fisherman and haven't been as invested in the tournament scene. I'd appreciate the stories and wisdom nuggets, though. That's another thing. Do what rules would they fish under? And would they be as entertaining as we would like them to be? Would they be talking while they're fishing? I think it would be interesting, at least at the beginning. I really do think it would be interesting. I just don't know that I would be as invested in a full 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 year, whatever event. And I would imagine it'd be on the shorter side. Have to be real careful not to fall in the boat and break a hip, Doug Rice. Now, you guys are making fun of old guys. What's up, Colin? How you doing, buddy, on TikTok? You guys are making fun of old guys, and we can't do that. Like, dude, I am really close to start getting AARP literature in the mail. I don't want to think about that because my body is that old. Now, my mind's still stuck at 18, but my body is that old. Now, Alex said he would watch it if KVD was in it. Well, who would you like to see in it? I mean, who would be the ones that you would pay attention to? KVD for sure would be one. Dolly Parton is not going to be in it, but maybe she can be master of ceremonies. I don't know. I'm a person that wants to know the why. Today's pros, young and old, just point me to what the electronics show. So I would say, bottom line outdoors, that you would be interested in a seniors tour if they fish like the NPFL. That would be more interesting to you. And listen, I get it 100%. As bad as my knees hurt, I can make fun a little for sure. Now, Critterbug Customs, Steve Harvey. Now, listen, Steve Harvey likes to fish. I don't know if Steve Harvey would fish any of those tournaments. And that's also too, I mean, if it's a senior tour, what's the qualifications? Is it just age, or did you have to fish in like the elites or anything? How do they qualify for it? We got 1,000,001 questions. And what lakes would they fish? You know what I'm saying? I just don't know. Like I said, I don't know that I would be that invested. There's nobody that really, what's up, Justin Warren? There's nobody that really jumps out to me like, I want to see Skeet Reese fish against X. Rick Clunn fished against, I just don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Would you actually even pay attention to it? Would you do it in any of the other sports? If you had an adult, I guess a senior adult baseball league where Chipper and Ichiro and Rodriguez and all of them are still playing, would you watch that? Football, they'd have to go flag football if they did it with the old timers in football. It'd have to be flag football for sure. Could you see Terry Bradshaw out there still trying to play in an adult flag football league? That might be entertaining because there is always that chance that somebody's going to break a hip. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like NASCAR. Like a lot of people watch NASCAR, especially at Daytona or Talladega for the big one, right? That's what you guys watch NASCAR for. And I'll be honest, I'm the same way. My favorite tracks are Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta because of the way they've changed it, and in Bristol. I like to see them speed. I like to see them close. I love to see them bang against each other. I don't want to see nobody get hurt. But like in basketball, it wouldn't be no fun. So would the draw be sustainable with the senior tour? Now, Tim said, I'm all for a 50 and over electric fishing series. Hell, Tim, me and you might be the only guys out there fishing right now. We might be the only ones out there. It is sad to know that if we're being serious, I qualify for some senior things, right? I saw the question on the rock crawler, red crawl. My favorite's red bug. I like the red bug. It all depends on your personal preference. I'm a red bug guy. When it comes to the Spro rock crawler, that's the one I like better than any of them. But everybody's got their own, right? Red crawl is hard to beat when it gets cold. Emmanuel says, for sure it is. They all catch fish. What's up, Jeff Edwards? Doug Rice said, good Lord, I didn't even turn my phone down. Oh, Rick Steckelberg's calling me right now. He should know I'm on a podcast. I think I would watch the older hammers in one annual tournament each year. Think it would be cool. That's what I'm saying. A one-off for sure. I could see that absolutely. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I just don't know if it would be able to be sustained over six, over an entire tournament season, but it could be possible. Tyler said I would watch KVD. Now, Patricia Leanne Shaw says, where did y'all learn the techniques? From the old school guys. Yeah, but I learned them from Bill Dance on that pond on TV. I didn't learn it from, I didn't watch the tournaments back then. I watched Bill Dance. I watched, I believe Roland had a show. What's that old fella that lived over off of Woodstock, wore the Atlanta Braves hat? Oh, good grief. His name is escaping me right now. Yeah, listen, I watched Bill Dance back in the day when I was a kid. Or was it Orlando Wilson? No, was it Orlando Wilson? Always wore the Orlando Wilson, Dustin Black. That's right. That's what I watched growing up. But hell, that's the only thing that came on. Petty John would take our money. I forgot about old Danny. Yeah, he would. Petty John would. What if you had a trail where you had to win a classic or trails equivalent to enter? Possibly. Like you get like points from what you did. It'd be one thing to see the greats of the greats fish against each other. I agree. I just don't know. Like I said, I'm with Doug. Give me one event. Let them go out, maybe two tops, maybe one in the spring, one in the fall. Only if we can see where they are on a map of the lake, and one tournament a year for seniors. So yeah, again, we got to see where they're at. That's a big complaint amongst some of today's elite guys about the covers. They don't, when they show it on Fox and they got the lake and they got the guy's head right there and he's in that cove, they really don't like that. They don't want nobody knowing where they're at, but you got to do it, right? What's the staple bait in Georgia, catching bass and hauling ass? It just depends on what you're fishing for. I would say everybody throws some form and fashion of a worm, most of it being shaky head or wacky or, Cinco. I guess everybody throws that a little bit. But as far as one staple bait, that just depends on the angler. I'm against seeing the map of the lake. It burns their spots for locals to come fish it before the tournament is over. That is a possibility. Hey, guys, Emil's sitting over there. He's in the lead. He's probably going to go over there on, championship day, but we got that afternoon. Let's go hit it, see what we can do. I get it. I get it. Orlando Wilson. Hank Parker. I got Hank Parker's phone number. Guy gave me Hank Parker's number. I got to call him, see if I can get him on the show. He said he would do it. Roland was the shit. So was Hank Parker. Orlando was a killer. Also, Jimmy Houston. Now, listen, though. I would sit down and listen to a podcast or a TV series, watch it, where those guys were sitting back and they were pontificating about the past and all that. I'm maybe a one-off fishing event. Again, interesting to think about, though. My favorite old-timer is Rick Clunn, hands down. The man is awesome. Oh, yeah, he was great. Would you still watch him fish? Would you still want to watch him fish tournaments against guys his age? That's the big thing. Spanish Fly. Jose, I can't even say his last name. He could be added to that list. I watched Spanish Fly on ESPN too. I would watch that when it came on too, knowing good and daggone well that I didn't know anything about fly fishing, because I just thought the places that he went was absolutely cool. Absolutely. In Fisherman, that's another one everybody watch. Babe Winkleman. I slapped old Babe Winkleman's ass at ICAST 2 years ago. Funniest thing I've done down there. He's a big dude, guys. I don't think you guys realize how big of a man Babe Winkleman is. I mean, he's a giant. He's every bit as tall, if not a little bit taller than Sheffield. He's a big dude. He's getting on up there in age too, but very nice guy. I grew up on that. We used to have Bassmaster tournaments here on Illinois River at Peoria. Yeah. That's kind of what we all watched back in there. It was those, we didn't really get to see live coverage of the tournaments like we got now. What's up, Traveler Fisherman? We didn't have that. So that's what we all learned on. Or we got a copy of a magazine. And think about shopping back in the day. How many of us waited for the Bass Pro Shop catalog to show up? Between that and the Sears and Roebuck with the lingerie section in it as a young man, I'm telling you, those were good days. I'm just kidding about the Sears. Maybe not. You can decide yourself. I know you guys out there were looking forward to it. But it was so much different back then. We didn't have of course, we didn't have YouTube. Hell, we had 3 or 4 channels. We were doing good right before cable, right? And so you just had to catch things. To be honest with you, most of us learned from somebody like our grandfather or our dad back then, as much, if not more, than any of the pros out there. One weekend tournament. Let the anglers pick the rules and the tournament set up. As many cameras as possible. Air the boat ramp in the morning. That would be the best stuff. No, that would be something that everybody would watch. Nobody is happy with 3-pound bass being an actual real angler. I don't know what that comment, stems from. Maybe something that I missed up there, but I'm the king of the 2-pound spotted bass on Lake Lanier. I enjoy them. I wish I could be the king of the 5-pounders. I'm just not. There's other guys in here in this comment section that are. It's not me. Larry Nixon, that's a good one. Bobby Barack, I hope I said that right, is the most entertaining angler to watch, hands down. If you don't know, you need to find out. Bobby, and I hope I say Barack, Barrack. Oh, you work for Sears selling Craftsman, Traveling Fisherman. Hey, listen, you know what section I'm talking about in that Sears catalog? I know you do. What's up, John G? The National Pawpaw Fishing League. It's possible. I just don't know that it'd be sustainable. Denny Bauer. And Roger says, look, he'd watch that one senior tournament a year for sure. I think we all would watch it. Remember Tom Mann's Outdoor World? Yeah. What's that old guy that lived down in Florida? Doug Hannon. He had that little show for a while, Bass Professor, whatever. You remember those? But that's how we got information back in the day. I really don't think, at least I would say for a lot of us that are, let's just say 50 and up, we just didn't have, and maybe even 40 and up, we did not have the, we can sit and watch Emil and how he works his forward facing sonar or a minnow, or Drew Cook, how he works a bedfish, or Trey McKinney or even the Johnston brothers on the big one. We didn't get to see that live and in time back then. So we just had to rely on other people, other sources. So again, and maybe that's why, I know I've always known about the Bassmaster Classic, growing up. You knew that was a Super Bowl of fishing, but at the same time, it wasn't like it was today. It definitely was different. I spent way too long in the bathroom looking through the Bass Pro Shop catalog. No doubt. What's up, Justin Ortiz? Steven Sturgeon says, I agree. Having those seniors on a panel telling stories on each other would be a great addition to the commentary on the existing shows. That's where I think that's the value in it right there, Stephen. Bass Time with Diaz. One more cast with Shaw Grigsby. Yeah. But that's the value that those guys bring, is the stories and the experience and all that. And they need to incorporate that. And some of the stuff is downright funny. It's very entertaining. I will tell you this. I have a policy here at the store, and any guy that comes up here all the time, they know it, that if an elderly gentleman, or most time it is gentleman, if an elderly guy walks in the store, I don't care who's in the store. I stop what I'm doing, and I will pay attention to them until they leave. Now, I got a couple of them that come in here quite often, and I hear the same story over and over and over again because they forget they tell it to me. I just feel like sometimes the elderly people in our society get pushed out the wayside, and they're lonely, and they need people to talk to. They just want somebody to talk to and listen to. So I let them come in, and I mean, I'm serious. I got one guy up the road. I've heard this story 42 times if I've heard it a single time, and I smile and laugh every single time. I think, too, with fishing and even other sports, sometimes we do push the older ones back out of the way, kind of all things. So I do see where they need to be kept in the fold, where there's value in having them around and listening to them talk and all that. Absolutely. Let's see. Ever owned a Ryobi Tool Company reel? My first reel, Jeff Edwards, was a Ryobi baitcaster that I bought at Kmart in Cumming. What's up, Gone Fishing with Ed? I think it cost $19.99 back in like 1985, 86. Seriously. I can tell you this. After about 2 weeks, it would, the line guide would start sticking. I mean, it was a terrible bait caster. I caught fish on it. I just learned how to fish around all its flaws. But that was my very first one. And it's been a long, long time ago. But my very first bait caster that I bought with my own money was a Ryobi. Now, at the time, I didn't know it was the same thing as the tool company. You know what I'm saying? But it was a Ryobi. Now, Matt W. Fishing's got a little bit different take on it. Let me read this here. I think it's a bad idea, not a tour. Too much money being dissipated throughout as many the leagues as it is right now. Bass fishing does not need another league. A one-off tournament, sure, but not a tour. And that is a legitimate, hey, Matt, that is a great argument. That is a great argument. I had a gentleman in here this morning with me and Josh, and we were talking through some things and everything, but I kind of brought up the fishing industry as a whole and how sponsorship money now is like, it is so hard to get, and that the pro leagues, even the pro anglers, are struggling with it. And it's being, kind of veered off into so many different directions, and everybody's wanting a piece of that pie. So your statement right there makes a lot of sense. I mean, who would get behind it financially? And don't say Metamucil. I know some of you guys have already said that in the comment section. I saw it. But you know what I'm saying? I think you're right, Matt. Because I've been kind of concentrating on whether would it be entertaining to watch for a season. But, you bring in a totally different aspect economically. Is it viable, and is it good for the sport? Garmin has X amount of dollars they're going to spend in sponsorships, right? Strike King, all of them. There's just, the pie has only so many pieces. And you could be right. It might do more damage than it would be helpful. That's what made ESPN great on Saturday. There was a lot of things too. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. Sean Nathaniel. Okay, he said, all right, how about this? 55 plus minimum with 110 plus team combined age, 2 events, one using everything, one using just frogs. a lake with a lot of fish, a cap on a number of people/boats, but anyone can enter to encourage people watching. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's an interesting thought for sure. Jeff Brazil, but hold on a second, Sean. I do like the idea of like got to be a combined age, but I mean, if you have a team trail and the 55 is a minimum, yeah, the 110 is an automatic, right? Because that would keep somebody from being 85 and bringing in a 35 or something like that. Jeff Brazil, we had to wait for Saturday morning in Tennessee. I'm Bob Cobb for the Bassmasters. Yeah, you remember that voice? I mean, I can't do it, but I can hear it. I can hear it in my head. Now, Drew says I'm a great therapist. Well, Drew, you've been up here. I don't think I'm a great therapist. I think I'm a great listener. Sometimes you just got to listen, right? The traveling fisherman, like this view better than TikTok. Yeah, it's a lot better, buddy. It is a lot better. Vets encouraged in his tournaments for sure, 100%. Kent says it would be nice to treat them like old Bassmaster Classics. All have the same boat, motographs, have boats setting in the water ready to go. Take care of the older ones there. They spent their life teaching people how to fish. Now, see, that might be the little monkey wrench thrown in there that might make it more interesting. But let's do era-specific boats, right? Let's make it the old. Let's see if somebody can restore some older bass boats that they ran in back in the day. The back killers. You know what I'm talking about. Let's if you're going to do that, let's make it nostalgic, right? Let's put them in an old boat and let them go with what they had. Pistol grip rods and stuff like this. You see what I'm saying? Jarrett says, I've done this, Danny. I think that would be pretty cool to watch. That would make it more entertaining for me. My boat is from 1983. Dude, my first electric only rig was a 77 Collins Craft. True story. Dead Rabbit said, you'll be loving that Metamucil in a few years when you're shitting stones. Listen, I get it, Dead Rabbit. I probably will. But listen, I've had my gallbladder taken out, so I don't really have that much of a problem. What did Saban say about Georgia Southern running through Alabama's defense that one time? That was shit flying through a tin can or something like that. I'm telling you what. I mean, seriously. Got to meet Bob Cobb at the Classic in Tulsa. It was like meeting Santa Claus. Grew up on the TNN shows. Yeah. If only fishing could get sponsorship money from non-endemic sources like golf. Well, I mean, it used to. You remember? I mean, it used to. George Thornton, I'm 77 years old. Very blessed to still be able to bass fish, even tournament fish. Absolutely, buddy. 100%. 100%. And I think that's the big thing. Like, we all want to live a long life, but so many people live a long life and they get to those, final years and they really don't have a quality of life. You got a quality of life if you've been able to get out there and fish. For sure, you're blessed. Absolutely. I think that's impressive. Patricia says Eagle Claw and Geritol. Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, what were the big brands back in the 70s? Let them use those if they're still around. A tin horn. That's right. Shit through a tin horn. That, sometimes it's like that. It be that way. Does anyone know of a good local guy that can upgrade some bearings in a spinning reel? Barely a month out of warranty and the bearings are locking up. Well, Alex, if you find the bearings, we probably could do that here at the shop. I would think. Can't be that hard. Can't be that hard. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I'm one of those guys that every time I go to clean my own reel or something like that, this is why I quit doing it. Just like my automotive endeavors, I always come up with one screw. Kind of left over. Like, I have no idea where this goes. Happens all the time. Last time I tried using my old pistol grip rods, I almost broke my arm. A little bit different, right? Dead Rabbit says, I love my pistol grips. Listen, I will tell you this, guys. Now, I think you guys maybe have a year or two on me, or you're at least in my range. there's probably a guy or two in the comment section, a young gun, that has no idea what we're talking about when we say a pistol grip. Or if they do, they've never held one. Definitely probably never bass fished with one. We've come a long way in the rod technology. Jam Fam, appreciate you joining us. What would you throw at West Point Lake this afternoon? And I'm going to go ahead and read Coleman's answer. Probably a green shad DT6, a walking topwater, and a shaky head in green pumpkin, and I would be up near Yellow Jacket. Can't go wrong with that. My only thing would be he throws a DT6, I'll throw in a rock crawler. Color's fine. Those color things. I'm just more of a fan of a rock crawler than I am the DT series, but a lot of people love the DT series just the same. Shaky head green pumpkin. Yeah, possibly. I wonder if dyeing the tails in chartreuse is as big on West Point as it is up here on Lanier. But I don't think you can go wrong. If I'm there right at dark, I'm still throwing a buzz, but there's still a buzz bait going to be tied onto one of my rods. Yeah, just some kind of shad crankbait. You get that nasty shad. Let's see. Do I still have that right here? Yeah. This is what I would be throwing. Spro nasty shad right here. And it is the RK50, so it's 4 to 8 feet. I think that's a wicked color. Very wicked color. You can still throw the shad patterns right now. You don't have to get into those crawl patterns and all that yet. Green pumpkin with chartreuse tails works on Lake Seminole, Clayton said. Yeah, I can see that. Dyeing the tail is 100% going to help on West Point. Go back to work, Alex. Atlanta says, I like pistol grips in a kayak. The butt is never in the way. And that makes a lot of sense. Alex, traveling fisherman, said, have a guy in Austin, Texas, look up Papa Chop's Rod and Reel Repair. Tell him I sent you. Tell him that the traveling fisherman sent you. Let me ask you guys about your tail, dyeing and tail chartreuse. And we can go back to talking about the senior stuff and all that, but you know how we do. We kind of morph from one conversation to the other. A lot of guys dip chartreuse year round. How many of you guys dip in orange over the winter months? You go from the chartreuse to the methylate kind of orange color. When do you normally make that transition? Because that is something we do here on Lanier. And it's generally when it gets really cold. Now, Patricia Leanne says, West Point is a buzz bait and a 10-inch worm lake. I mean, I could see it for the largemouth. Dead Rabbit says, I'm accurate as you know what with a pistol grip. I bet you are. Brazil says, I still have 3 of my dad's early 70s Abu Garcia 5000 Cs on 5.5-foot loose speed stick pistol grips. Still all in working order. That's pretty awesome. That's badass right there. Yeah, Alex, I forgot what Tim said. Nutter in white up there by Cartersville. He's worked on some of my reels and rebuilt a couple of trolling motors also. Now, Doug says, I stay with chart all year, never seen a reason to change. That was kind of what I was thinking, Doug. Like, for those of us, it was always kind of, when you start throwing the, and again, I'm going to use the rock crawler, but any of your crankbait, but when you start throwing your reds and your oranges, when you make that transition from the shad colors over to those, I know a lot of guys around here will do orange. They'll dip the tail in orange. Me and Ryan always did it. And hell, I'll be honest with you, I did it because of Ryan. I was always a chartreuse guy, but we started dipping them in orange, and kind of that was his explanation. But some people do stay with chart. It worked fine. And then I guess really back towards the spawn and going on back, we'd go back to the chart. Tony says chart for me too. Coleman says I do chart all year. I would be open to trying orange for sure. I dip either red or chartreuse silver punk. Yeah, they got the red too. We would just kind of do it. And one of the explanations was crawfish. You know what I'm saying? Crawfish. But it always coincided with starting to throw those rock crawler, Rapala, DT series baits, any of that when you started going with the orange and the reds. Atlanta Outdoors got 40 dingers from Walmart for $4 yesterday. Dingus employee hung up the bulk packs meant to be hung individually on the rack. 5 packs, barcode scan, $3.96. Well, I mean, that's a deal. That's a deal. For sure. Pistol grips are serviceable until you start throwing heavy baits. That's a road that leads to carpal tunnel, and I could see that for sure. 100%. Doug, tried red with a little success, but not enough to stay with it. That's one thing. Now, never done the red. Never done the red. Now, Traveling Fisherman says, I still have my original Rick Clunn Bass Pro Shop pistol grip. Now, Dead Rabbit's calling you out, Atlanta. He's saying that's shady, dude. He said that's shady. But I do know that a lot of policies for a lot of stores are like, if the employee does that, even if you try to go make it right, it's like, hey, that's what it was. It's our mistake. But I get it. I get it. I can't remember the last pistol grip I had. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. But I do know the orange thing. And again, always that little tip, whether it's chartreuse or orange, if you got it on your tail and you're getting nipped, a lot of short strikes and all that, take it off the shaky head, put a new worm on, but dip the head that screws onto the shaky head or whatever, dip it instead of your tail. If that's what you seem like, they're keying in on. I know a lot of you guys yesterday, because I got a lot of comments afterwards, really liked the let me read this real quick. Daniel's Family Fishing. I always dip my trailers because that's what I was taught. Don't dip anymore and do just as good. A lot of guys do that as well. The crawls, right? The end of the things. You got a green pumpkin, dip them in chartreuse, dip them in orange. A lot of guys I know on the jigs, they do that, and they're trying to mimic the crawfish at that time. Do y'all remember Lou's laser rods from the 80s? Yeah, I remember them. I know I don't have one. T-Toms, Walmart missed prices all the time. I got a couple of quarter-ounce black and blue chatterbaits for like $2 one time. That's how they rang up. And Tony said, no, shady is me saying, you only got 40 at that price? I still have a lot of pistol grips, Skyline, Fenwick, etc. Like, seriously, I can believe that. JTR1313, where y'all located? North Georgia, halfway between Dawsonville and Jasper, about 40 minutes north of Atlanta. Right in the foothills, right before the beautiful country starts. We're not flatlanders, though. Up near Lake Lanier, between Lake Lanier, Lake Allatoona, and Carter's Lake, kind of if that was the Bermuda Triangle of lakes, we're right in the middle of nowhere, but exactly right in the middle of everywhere. That's what I tell everybody. Where y'all at? Well, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time, we're right in the middle of everything. Don't get a lot of foot traffic in the store because we're not, where we're located. But damn sure we got boats coming up and down the road all the time. Because they're going the Allatoona guys are going to Lanier. The Lanier guys will go to Allatoona. They're all going to Carter's or whatever. Patricia says, guaranteed for life. Do you guys dip anything else other than your trailers or your worms? Like, seriously. JT says, awesome. Getting ready to move to Florence, Alabama in the spring. Are you from Alabama? Where are you from, JTR? Just out of curiosity. And I'll make sure I do not make fun of Alabama because the last time I did, it did lead to me getting suspended on TikTok live. So we have to be careful. Now, Luke says, I'll dip the tail on a fluke every now and then. Right. A lot of guys do that. Let's see. I thought somebody answered on that. Yeah, I dipped my fingers by accident. Listen, I'll tell you that JJ's Magic. Like Texarkana. The Texas side, not the Arkansas side. Okay. Well, listen, you are going to lose a little bit of knowledge as you cross the state line. That's all I'm saying. I'll keep it nice like that. I love my people from Alabama. I'm just playing with you. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, like that JJ's Magic. Like, if you drop that on your boat, you're screwed. It's stuck. Spike it is like an STD. Once you get it on you, it never goes away. That 100%. Pro tip, if you keep JJ's Magic in your pocket like I do, keep the lid on very tight, 100%. Same thing goes for deer pee for you hunters, right? You got some doe estrus, you better keep that thing, you better keep it tight. Funky Fisherman, paint the E belly of my Pop-Ars, paint the belly of my Pop-Ars orange in the spring when the bluegill are spawning. I got it. Now, I just see you teabag certain women dead rabbit. What does that mean? I had to have missed a comment up there. I don't know what that is, but somebody's teabagging people. For those of you that don't know that, Google it. Especially if your fiance doesn't like Texas toast, if you know what I mean. It's got that garlic smell and all that. The orange is awesome right after ice out. See, Steven, I always have to remember about you northern guys. Like, I mean, some of the small ponds down here may freeze, but that's it. Yeah, Coleman is kind of like, bad. How do you fish a Zoom trick worm? T-Tom said. Well, kind of like what Justin said last night. If you watched the show last night, I don't know if you caught it. He was talking about, I don't know if he said the Zoom trick worm, but he said something like that. There's 100 different ways you can fish it. Me, normally, one of two ways is what I normally do it. Either weightless like a flute, like a trick worm, and I'll do that mostly with the methylates and stuff, or in a farm pond, I'll do it with any color. And then on a shaky head. That's mostly what I do. Luke says he does them weightless or on a drop shot. I just think, this Carolina rig is awesome too. I think there's better options for a drop shot, but a lot of guys like them. And I don't know who Mihende is that wants to go live and battle. I don't know what the battle stuff is on TikTok, but I am in no mood to battle with you. Nor do I know how to do that. T-Tom's on a shaky head and drag it on the bottom slow enough to count rocks. That's basically what I do with it 90% of the time. Tim, now listen, you're old as dirt. That's why you've seen this. Now, he said, I've seen Allatoona freeze down to the S turns, and from 41 to 75, I had to break ice to get to open water. Yeah, I mean, it happens. But, I don't think we get what he gets up there. Those ice outs up north are a little bit different. But, yeah, it has happened. Zoom trick worm as a shaky head is money. Mm-hmm. Now, I have switched over to the mag shaky head worms from Zoom more often than I use a trick worm, but I use the trick worm a lot. I dip, you dip, we dip. I put my hand upon your hip. Yeah, I remember that song. I'm not that uncool. But I think you can throw it as a wacky. You can throw it as a Nico. You can throw it in a chicken rig. You can do whatever. You can throw it as a drop shot. I will tell you what I do when it comes to drop shot. And you know that ghost herring color that Zoom puts out? I will put that on a drop shot, but I'd bite about half of the worm off so that I got just basically the back half. That's about 4 inches of it. And I will put that on a drop shot. That ghost herring, I don't know if any of you guys have ever fished with that color, but that is a kick butt drop shot color. I just don't like using the entire worm. Split shot rig with a trick worm is forgotten. Yeah. That's another one. Ghost herring is my favorite Zoom color on Lanier. T-Toms, that's what I'm talking about. And that's where I use it. It would work great on Allatoona and Carter's as well. That ghost herring, and they do make a trailer for jigs. They make a twin-tailed, I guess Fat Albert, double-tailed trailer in that color. I don't know about on a jig, but I know on a shaky head, but especially on a drop shot, that is a color that a lot of people don't know about on Lake Lanier. But again, I basically bite it in half. Split shot trick worm is one of the best dang pond baits ever. Now listen, on ponds, I just throw them straight up and work it like I would work at a flute. And I will tell you, on farm ponds, growing up, I had more success on a white trick worm than I did even the bubble gum or the methylates or any other color. If there was dirty water and the pond behind my house was dirty, sometimes it would get so muddy you could walk across it. But if that pond was a dirty pond and I was going to throw a trick worm on top and just kind of, did the little side to side kind of thing, I always did better with white. Danny, change of subject. Do you know what today is? Damn, Tim, do I owe you money? I don't know. Actually, I don't know. What is today? Let me fill me in because I don't know. I'm out of the loop. Bring back Doug Hannon's snake bait. Yeah, that's one. I used to have one back in the day. 8 to 10 inch trick or 10 inch. Holy crap. Really, Tim? You think I would know that, right? Today is the 6-year anniversary of the first podcast we ever did. I'll be damned. Thank you for letting me know that, Tim. I did not know that. I do remember something about back then. Like, didn't we have a picture of your big fish off of Latham? Didn't we use that somehow, like in a picture or something? Seems like we did. The big one that you caught out in the open. Seems like that. But thank you for letting me know. 6 years I've been doing this. Good Lord, time has flown by. That's pretty awesome. That makes me kind of happy, the fact that I've lasted 6 years and you guys are still dumb enough to listen to me talk. Like, y'all ain't figured out I'm a fraud already? That's pretty cool. And you know what? The only reason we lasted 6 years doing this is because you guys. Now remember, we didn't do the live always. The first few podcasts we recorded, in fact, the first 3 were just audio only, and then we recorded one with cameras with Jimbo. And then I remember doing the first kind of live one. We just had an old laptop computer, and I would sit over there, and we just went live. And I remember, like, we'd only do it on Facebook, I think. And like, I thought it was a big deal that 10 people was watching. I'm like, my God, there's 10 people listening to us. And the guy don't even fish anymore. Who? That was you talking about the very first one? Same stories over and over. No, dude. I mean, no. We've come a long way. We've had some stories. The very first podcast we did was with a guy that don't fish anymore, and I can't remember Shane Dover. Hot damn, there it was. We talked about jigs. That's right, dude. Man, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. That makes me feel pretty good. All you guys saying congratulations. Thank you. Y'all need to flip through 80s and 90s Bass Pro catalog. There's YouTube videos of people showing pages. We should do that. I know that Tim Hancock gave me a bunch of magazines. Yeah, we got a bunch of old GONs and stuff like that. We should do that. And in fact, I bought from a antique store a how to fish book from back in the 60s. I think that might be pretty cool to open it up and say, all right, this is what they used to do compared to now. When you picture the people in a room, it really puts it in perspective. I have almost 3,800 subscribers, and that is wild to imagine them all watching me in the auditorium. Stephen, yeah, no, I get it. We passed 9,000 yesterday with all you guys' help. The first 1,000 is the toughest to get. And we're not one of those channels that get the big blow up, or we'll get 2,000 subscribers in a week or nothing like that. We basically add 4 to 5 to sometimes 10 subscribers a day. And it is a snowball that is just slowly rolling. But it is always going up. But you made my day right there, Tim White. I did not know that. That makes me feel pretty good. I felt great today because it was hump day. I was going to be happy, but now I'm really happy. Sometimes you have to go back to basics, especially when you're stuck up. You calling me stuck up? I ain't stuck up. I don't know what you're saying, but I get what you're saying. 814. That's awesome. That is really awesome. 6 years, and I tell you what's cool about 6 years of doing this. Just now, this turned into an anniversary show. What's up, Bible Bass TV? The people that I have had the pleasure to talk with that I would never have met had this microphone never got put in front of me and we never did it on Facebook. Because, guys, we were just doing, listen, the podcasts were selfish to start off with. There was no YouTube videos on Hickory Log or Latham or any of these lakes. We were actually we did the podcast just to try to get information. And it's just morphed into this. But the people that have come across and I've gotten to interview or met, I tell you what, I'm blessed. Absolutely blessed. I did not invent awesome sauce, though. I did not invent it. My YouTube channel changed my life. I cannot even imagine how you feel. Broke. Damn, I wanted to make some more money. Broke. No, it's cool. I tell you what's cool is when you go somewhere and you're sitting in a restaurant. This is even more, and don't get me wrong, Ryan, if Ryan was here, he could tell you, like getting on an airplane, flying down to Orlando or flying back or something, the guy comes up and he goes, I recognize your face or something like that. Or being in the Bahamas with me and my wife sitting there at a elevator getting ready to go up, and he goes, are you the podcast guy from Georgia? Tim, is that I'll be damned, that's true too. Just think, 6 years ago, we were all sitting on a bed in a motel room in Rome, Georgia, discussing y'all starting it. Has it been that long? I was trying to get you to be on it, wasn't I? Well, I know, my friend, we've had our ups and downs and all that, but I tell you what, I'm glad you're still here, buddy. It means the world to me, and it actually means a lot you telling me that. I'll try not to cry. That is pretty cool. Now, listen, though. I'm still gonna make fun of you about that damn hotel room in Rome, or that choice of motel or whatever it was. But I appreciate you more than you know, and I appreciate everybody. That's the cool thing. I mean, like, look, dude, I got numbers in my phone now of guys that I would have never thought I would ever have talked to in my life. And it's all because of you guys in a little old microphone and the ability to just bullshit. And that's all it is we get on here and we pontificate and we just have a good time. And, we treat I'd like to think we're all family. Even when we disagree, we're all family. So I'm just hot damn, guys. I will have a smile on my face for the rest of the day because I don't know how I missed it, Tim. I don't know how I missed it. I will tell you there's some stuff coming, though. There's some stuff coming down the line here that you guys are really going to like. That I really think you're going to like, because at the entire time, like, this is for you guys. It's for me. It's for you guys. We all want to try to learn and grow old together and all that. But this is for you guys. We got some good stuff. I got some good plans. I've got some old books by Tom Mann, Roland, Tony Bean. I've sort of made a list of stuff to bring if I ever get back up there. Tim, I can't wait for you to come back. It's always a good time when your grumpy butt walks through my door. It is a good time. And say again, take Tim. Take Tim Hancock. Now, me and Tim White played ball before, so I knew Tim beforehand. But we didn't see each other for a long time, and then all of a sudden kind of figured out, reconnected down on when they had there was a tournament tees, something like that, down on Hard Labor or something when it first opened. And then we kind of figured, yeah, dude, we played ball. But like you, Tim Hancock, I wouldn't have got to know you. I wouldn't have gotten to know you, and then people would not have gotten to, I mean, they would have, some people, but it's kind of helped, a lot of people know you through us. And it's good because you've been able to share your knowledge through our platform. That's what it's all about. That's the thing. Check your phone. Let me see here. Tim said, check my phone. An attachment, one image. Tim White, October 15th, 2019. Go check this site out and like their page. Great couple of guys with big plans being put into motion. Josh McCaig, Danny Pruitt. So, and I put, and then, yeah, so, and that was, he was sharing our post, which was, so tonight we recorded our first podcast with Shane Dover of Shane Dover Fishing Adventures. Shane was the first person to ever ask us if he could put our logo on his jersey. We found it only fitting that he will be our first ever guest. We will discuss not only what he has going on with his social media and his sponsors, but we'll also include, and then it cuts off. It's badass. That's badass. Tim said it's been almost 5 years since I was on a podcast up there. So yeah, it's been a minute. Dude, we got to get you back. Chris, it is a good time up here. We try to be a good time. We try to be a good time all of it. Like I said, listen, I will tell you this, and I have to be the first to admit it. Let me read. Ed, come hang out with us, Poe Bassin and Slade Nation tournament fishing guys on November 1st, our last tourney. That's the one on Latham. Yeah, I will try to come meet you guys there. In all of this, I can say personally, we've done a lot of good things. We have effed up a lot of things, made a lot of good friends, hurt some friends. I mean, we've made our mistakes. We try to grow. You try to say you're sorry and you keep going. But that's what, like, every single day, this is the only job I've ever had in my life that I cannot wait to get up and come to work. I cannot wait for 12 o'clock to get up here and just BS with you guys. And I certainly, the Tuesday and Thursday nighters are awesome. But it's the only job I've ever had where I felt like that. And what's cool is watching you guys come in and sitting in the shop, just sitting there. Because I tell everybody that's never watched the podcast, they come up here and sit down across from us. And I'm like, what you see right here is what we do on the podcast. It hasn't changed. I hope you get a job in the fishing industry one day. Luke, I hope you do too. I absolutely hope you do too. Now I got to get back on because you guys are getting ready to get kicked off. Damn, Tim. Like, seriously, like, I don't even know if I can function the rest of the day. 6 freaking years. Y'all remember that ugly ass sticker we put out at the beginning? How many of you guys had that ugly ass, like, mustard yellow? It was supposed to be a bass that said Fish North Georgia. Hell, I don't think it looked like a bass. That's been a hot minute. I got to get some more stickers made. I'm going to resume you guys on TikTok. I started watching your podcast when Kevin Thornton joined you on the podcast. Have enjoyed it ever since. Y'all make my day. I tell you what, listen, you know how Thornton got on? He would just come up and show up. And he'd just hang out at the shop with me and Ryan. And then he asked if he could watch the podcast one day. And he came down there and watched an episode. And then he came back for another one. And we didn't have a guest. And I said, hey, dude, jump on. And he's been on ever since. Tim had one. It wasn't waterproof, so it didn't last long. That's what I'm saying. Those first stickers were ass. Ugly and ass, but, they were the original ones. I was that way when I was in the boat biz. Couldn't wait to get to work every day. But the boat biz is a tough way to make a living. Listen, this is tough. I ain't rich. Hell, I got a TV show and ain't making no money on a TV show. That's what, like, a lot of people see this like, oh, you guys are rolling. No, but we're here. They haven't got the house yet, right? Yet being the word. I remember watching you and Ryan in the basement years ago. You remember we had that crappy ass TDS internet that you guys could hear the audio, but the screen would freeze up. And how many guys have come down there? Like, Paul Coonan. Old Paul used to come up here and work it. And, Blake, guys come and go, but then they'll come back and it's just, they always stay part of the family, but life kind of gets in the way sometimes. You guys will start seeing a lot more of Tim here. Tim's had, the police stuff up in Cedartown has taken a lot of his time here lately, but he's not gone anywhere. But it's just kind of like the ebb and flow. Yeah, we'd comment all the time up there. Oh, there you go. I hear you, but I don't see you. For sure. And nobody does 2 lives in one day. I figured it up. I do about 13 and a half hours of live talking every week. But it ain't hard. I mean, that's the only talent I got in this life is I don't shut up. I'll talk to myself when I'm here alone. So it really ain't that hard. You guys are what makes the show. I mean, look, here's a perfect example. I did not even know it was my 6-year anniversary, and Tim had to tell me. That's pretty crappy. I think back then I had a beard too. Yeah, boy, it's changed a lot. Ain't that something? We've gone from pissing off half of Lake Lanier on one episode where I showed my feet and we're talking about doing the Only Feets fan. You got the Blue Waffle episode. You got It's in the Dirt. It's in the dirt. Appreciate it, Steve. Ryan's first time ever on, he'd come up here with Blake and he did that damn Irish tannin whatever song. And I still remember he had a big red shirt on. I still remember Jeremiah Giles saying he looked like the Kool-Aid guy. Yum yum. But Tim said, well, Facebook told me. But still, Tim, I mean, I didn't know. You still let me know. Um, what's your favorite episode of all the years? Favorite episode of all that I've ever done. I will tell you what my favorite podcast was. And it was a pre-recorded one. It was the one with Bill Payne. No, it's not Jackie. We've done some funny ones. The reason that if you go back and watch it was one of the first ones that we did was I didn't know Bill Payne's story back then. And he had me in tears towards the end. And it was after that, like I've respected Bill Payne like nothing. Nobody's, I mean, he's the man. But I would say, probably my favorite episode was the one that made everybody mad. When we were talking about guides on Lake Lanier and everything, and we had a little too much to partake of. People talked about that one for a while. They're all good, man. Bill Payne's podcasts are awesome. Bill Payne's going to be back on here in a couple of weeks. I talked to him yesterday. He's going to come on, and we're going to talk wintertime bass fishing. So it'll probably be a live and not a pre-recorded one. So T-Toms, this show has been really great for me personally. I've always been self-conscious when I'm in a bait shop because I don't know as much. You are a culture setter, an awesome leader for the community. Listen, I appreciate the kind words. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I am a professional donator. Guys like Justin and Tim take my money, but you know what? I enjoy hanging out with a good class of people. They're good people. You guys are good people. Get Dana FCP for wintertime for sure. Yeah, I will. But the problem with Dana is many works through the week. I'll try to get him on. We might have to do a special Saturday night edition. Now, Tim is right. Fluke Master melting into the chair. If you go watch that one, Gene Jensen, the very first time he come up, about 20 minutes into the podcast, he starts going back a little bit. And he starts going back a little bit. He gets, let's just say it this way. He damn right got comfortable. We shaved Blake's mullet that night for charity. That was a good one. We raised $2,500 that night. We raised $2,500 that night. And guys, this is sick and disgusting, but I guarantee you if we go down there, some of Blake's hair is probably still on the floor in the basement. I guarantee you his DNA is down there. If any of you guys want to clone your own personal Blake Buchanan, we can do it. We can do it. I could fish with Bill all day and soak up knowledge. He's a great guy. Did a good job dialing in our electronics. And if you're going slow, throw it slow or slow down. Bill Payne, and listen, and even Tim Hancock up there. And I'm not saying this because they're older. I'm saying we have been blessed to have people on that have a wealth of knowledge, that have been willing to share it through us to you. That's the cool thing about this. You mentioned Tim Hancock. I can tell you right now, big ass spinner baits, big heavy spinner baits, and Kong. You mentioned Bill Payne. I'm going to think his fight, his battle, is like his victory with his with cancer, and I'm going to think shaky heads and slowing it down. Kevin, even old man Kevin here. There are things that there are certain things that when he brings it up, of course I'll say he's the nicest guy in the world and he's got a hot wife. But, you know, there's just certain things that they're willing to bring out for you guys. And it's pretty cool. It's really cool. And Tim, like I said, I know you and I have had our ups and downs, but I can remember the first time I pissed him off. It was on a Tim Hancock episode. Remember, you come up here to the shop the following day or something. And we made it through that. We made it through other things. Where you said Rocky, and I thought you were calling him out on something. But it's been fun. Like I said, it's kind of like family. Thank goodness for the wealth of advice from the guest, because the host holds spinning reels upside down for sure, 100%. He does. Listen, like I said, I'm how do you say it? I just try to connect you guys to the guys that know what the hell they're talking about. I remember crying because I was laughing so hard when y'all were messing with Beasley about his camel toe and moose knuckle. That might have been that might have been between it's in the dirt, Justin going crazy, and Beasley's camel toe. That might have been those two the funniest. And y'all think Jackie was funny? Jackie was funny, but those two things were like, that was really funny. Because we thought it was Jesse Benson that was on here. And somebody in the comment section said, dude, that guy's camel toe or whatever. And we thought they were talking about Jesse. But then you look on the thing and old Beasley sitting there, and he had them daggum short, tight shorts that he always wore. And sure enough, they were like, here's the microphone. They're like, whoop. They're on the side like that. And you know what, too? Think about that. And I mean, I wouldn't have got to know Beasley. You know what I'm saying? I will definitely try not to cry on that one. I mean, that was the highest of the highs, the lowest of the lows. Still got the boys, jersey right here. Got his picture sitting right back there. Hell, if that damn table went in there, we'd probably see his camel toe right there. The old moose knuckle. So, I mean, God dang, 6 years. 6 years. And only a couple of times, and you know what's funny is when we first started, some of these guys are so damn nervous when you go to interview them. Paul Driscoll. Paul Driscoll is probably one of the most kick-ass anglers to ever grace Lake Lanier, with his presence. The man is good. He's a legend. But I remember him sitting here right beside me, and he was like a kid, right before his first kiss. I mean, he was nervous, and then he said shit one time, and once he was able to say shit, he was fine for the rest of the show. I believe Dane Hunter, the episode that I know got demonetized was when I had you and Alex singing Islands in the Stream. Because I pulled up Islands in the Stream and played it on the laptop, and you and Alex were going Islands in the Stream. That was pretty damn funny, and the worst singing I have ever experienced in my life. That actually got demonetized. I never met Beasley, but I met his dad and got pretty tore up talking to him. Yeah, I do. I feel for that fella. I feel for that fella. He invested in his son. But listen, although his life was short, and although we wished he was still here because his ass probably would be on the elites by now, he could fish. He was damn good. As short as his life was, he lived it doing, and he went out doing what he loved. And how many of us would love just to be blessed to be able to do that? I mean, the blink of an eye, but he loved it. He loved it. There are people that will live to be 100, 105 years old that will probably never experience doing what they love like Beasley got to do. And that, I'm just glad I got to know him. But that's all through this show. All through this show. And you know what? I hope we do it for another 20 years. I hope we all grow old together. And then we'll wait to see the idiots like Tyler and Coleman when they get to be middle-aged. And we can sit back and go, man, I remember when you guys were just a bunch of punk-ass teenagers that started hanging around here. And you're going to start calling us pops and stuff. From what I have heard from his dad, if he wasn't fishing, he was in the garage rigging up for the next time he could go fishing. Yeah. Tried to get him a girlfriend. He would say the same damn thing every time. Like, Beasley, you need a set of boobs in your life, dude. I'm in love with the spotted bass. I'm in love with the spotted bass. That's what he would say. I'm in love with the spotted bass. Yeah, and I got a grandkid going to be here in January, and it'd be cool when you guys start having kids. It's going to be fun. But I'm blessed by you guys. I'm blessed by you guys. It ain't about us. It's always been about you guys. So I'm a blessed man. So thank you guys for like sharing that last few minutes with me. Boobs are great. Don't get me wrong. I do love me some spots. Tyler, you gotta have and listen, fishing's fun, dude, but you better keep it. Some things are more important, like parts. All right. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go kind of celebrate the rest of the day. I really am. Thank you, Tim, for letting me know that. All you guys for hanging out. Tomorrow we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll just start year 7 or whatever, 6 or have whatever the hell it is. We'll do another one tomorrow at 12 o'clock. And then tomorrow night, Robert Blesky will be in here. Father Time will be in here. Tony, I really want to talk tomorrow night. Like, I really want to get into some fall patterns that not a lot of people talk about. Something different. And maybe there is nothing different, but we're going to try to talk about that. So you guys have been awesome as always. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. We'll see you guys on TikTok. You guys on YouTube, hey, appreciate it. Go celebrate with bourbon and kefir. Ain't no kefir, but I might have the bourbon tonight, guys. So you guys be good. We will see you later. Oh, you know what I should do real quick before I let you guys go? Hold on a second. I think I deserve this. We'll do one thing for me. No, I'll ask for you guys. You guys be good. Hell, I'll see you next time. And we are out of here.